Welcome back. Part 2 of digging and drill fixed drill mode in the HV Alpha 10. I just did a little bit of texturing and coloring on this thing, but what I wanted to explore this time is digging down at an angle. 22.5 degree angle is a pretty common slope, especially for ramps and things like that you want to drive vehicles up. 45 is twice as steep, and so 22.5 is a pretty good angle for that. And so I wanted to come up with a solution for that, but just to a little bit more background, go over here. I dug a hole here, but you can see I forgot to pay attention to this. It's not really lined up with one of the cardinal directions, north, south, east, and west. So your base, if you're going to put blocks down, they're going to follow one of those cardinal directions, and this thing's offset a little bit. So my solution for that was to go ahead and just start building a base out here. If this was in a survival game, my base may not extend out this far, and the core certainly wouldn't be sitting there. But you can always move that later. But I wanted to give myself a wall to bump up against so I could line up. It was to come up with a way to make sure I was facing due west. So that's why this wall's here, and then that's the slope that I want to achieve. So what I've done, these two big thrusters here on the front, hover engines, I've got hooked up to a key, a signal, and if I turn those off, I get just about 22.5 degree slope. So let's take a look at that. 22.5 degrees. That turns those two engines off. Now you see I'm moving forward a little. Now I've stopped. Alright, so let me jump out here. This is probably sitting on the ground. It's just the invisible part of this block here is probably touching the ground there. And I'm a little bit too steep. This is slightly more than that slope. It's pointing down a little bit too far. So I brought some. I've already got one artificial mass block right here to add weight to the back to get it roughly where I want it. Let's see, did I do any digging yet? Harvest. Yeah. So currently the harvest box is empty. And I found that if I put another 500 kilograms on the back, that makes it just about, that'll tip the nose back up a little bit to be just about right. So let me hop back in here and I'll toggle this thing again. So when I turn it off, just to show them, slightly up angle from the ground. And by the way, that's why I put this base here. Otherwise, the hover engines are having to do calculations based on what's level. So I wanted a nice flat surface for them to do their work off of instead of the ground. With the ground there, you see it's sloping a little bit. I wasn't able to line up flat against this wall, so I put the flat surface there. But anyway, let me toggle this again. You see I'm still in free drill mode. I'm just going to let it settle down here. Yeah, it wants to move forward. Keep it on the platform. Stop moving there. Now I'm in God mode just to make it easier to move around, but you can do this in not in God mode. That got the angle just about right. It still looks like it's pointing down a little bit too much, but if I start adding too much weight back there, it will kind of defeat the purpose. Let me, I'll try one more. 250 kilogram. I think it may end up being too much though. Marvels of live streaming, or recording anyway. Need to wait for it to stop. I'm just trying to get it close to. So that's pretty close. In fact, it could even tilt up a little bit more. So I'm just going to go with this for now. It's not exactly the right angle, but that's kind of to give you an idea of what I'm trying to achieve here. And what you want to do that when you're not in free and fixed mode. As soon as you enter fixed drill mode, it's the ship itself is going to stabilize at that angle. So you want to turn the this thing on and off while you're still in free mode so that it can tilt up and tilt down. So let me go ahead and shift O. Now it's in fixed mode, and let's see where we ended up. Yeah, we're a little bit too steep. That's okay. We're going to go ahead and drill anyway. So from now on, I'm not going to mess with the mouse. I'm just using the WASD keys to bump myself up against the wall, make sure I'm going due west. And then I'm going to click once on the left mouse button to start the drills, and then just hold the W key to move forward. I need to get out past this ramp, otherwise it's going to mess with my angle. Still a little bit steep. Let me see if I can tilt that up slightly. Fixed mode is going to hold me pretty much whatever angle I end up at, so let me see if I can just manually adjust it. That's pretty close. What I'm going to do is just go ahead and blow these blocks away. Normally you use a multi-tool to retrieve them, but Here in Creative, I can just right click on them, or shift right click. And make sure these, oops. Alright, so here we go again. Deep enough to get an idea of whether or not we achieve what we're going for. I'm a little too close to the water for that to work, but leave it parked here. Yeah. Alright, so let's see what kind of blocks we can place now. Oops. So I'll speed this up. I'm gonna place blocks and see where I end up at that slope. So I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. So looks like we got a little bit steeper down here, which means the putting blocks on the ceiling may be an issue with that. Yeah, if we're trying to achieve the slope. Of course, if we're we need to dig it out. I'd want to dig it out taller and wider to start with anyway, but it's not too bad. I don't know if you saw if I sped it up or just cut it out, but some of these blocks I could place and some I couldn't. And just trying to fill that block in right there. I'd have to manually dig this out a little bit more to get up under there. Yeah, it'll let me put one out beside it, but not directly under there. So you could achieve a ramp. In fact, if we're going to dig again, maybe I'll do that. Just select. Copy. And kind of lets me cheat and throw some blocks out there we haven't dug yet. So if we're going to God mode, yeah, so I got ramp, so it's about twice as wide as what I've dug out so far. So now we got a ramp going down to the ground. I'm going to run the drill back through here on this surface and see if it'll clean up the top and sides. There's no clear, just being able to drill. I went over it a little too far. I should have stayed where it would cut the whole thing out so I could see where I was depth-wise. But we're just going to go back through here. Looks like I came through there at a higher height than I did the first time, so I need to drop down a little bit and come back through there again. Yeah, I messed up. I hit the O key to level myself out after I came down here and hit the ground, and that wants to tilt you even with the world. I got docking pads on this thing, and I don't want to be even with the world. I want to be even with this slope here. So let's see if I can dock down on that. So that's basically the angle I want. I'll just go again from the top, I think. Also, I'm hitting that wall when I back out of here, so my angle's not straight anymore. All these things could be adjusted. This is just the magic of live recording here. You get to see all the warts and everything of me trying to do this. So not quite steep enough actually anymore, but probably close enough. Tilt down just a little bit. I'm holding the left to bump up against the wall again, try and get my direction correct. And I'm going to back up until I'm high enough to where the ground's not going to affect me. Still in fixed mode, here we go again. might be best not to have docking pads on there. Keep you from getting stuck on the ground. Well, only if you have some base for it to dock to, I guess. If you're still doing the raw rock, it wouldn't dock to that. Just backing out of here again. Anyway, you get the idea. Let me take it out of fixed mode. See, I fall like a rock. I can actually maneuver, but so let me get down here, put it back in fixed mode, and what I want to do is oh, I don't want to be in fixed mode like that. So now I'm flat with this again. I'm just going to try and level this thing off and kind of start opening it up. I'm going to start in fixed mode just because it helps stabilize the machine, but in order to turn very much or very fast, you kind of got to get out of there, but I probably don't want to turn very much or very fast until I get it opened up some. Be right back. Basically, I'm just hitting the O key. Every now and then I'm turning slowly and hitting the O key to level myself off with the world, just to make start flattening out back to a flat surface instead of slope. Give it a fixed mode so I can spin around and move a little further forward. Woohoo! Of course, it's can't lose all control when you do that, so maybe that wasn't a good idea. Should just stay there. Yeah, so that's flat with the world. Yeah. See where I am. Yeah, so I think that's a better idea, is just to go ahead and build something level with the world again, and start opening that up, and then worry about doing this transition later. Figure out how deep you want it, how wide, and so forth. So I'm going to leave it here. Just wanted to let you follow along my antics, trying to see what kind of design works for this digger. Let me go ahead and see if I can back it out of here. So actually, while you're in fixed mode, you can point this thing whatever angle you want to dig at. So if you point it there and then quit moving the mouse and just you know, move forward from there, that's the angle you'll dig at. So this setup I have here is just an assist to get you, you know, to that angle, but you can see it has no effect when you're in fixed mode. Toggling this on and off doesn't do anything. If I go back into free mode, and engage those hover engines, I'm probably well, I'm loaded down now with some all that stone that I just dug out, and so I'm a little rear heavy, plus this these weight blocks on the back. That was just to get me started, but I probably didn't need all that anyway. Like I said, if you know, I think the wall here is a good idea to give me something to make sure I'm heading north, south, east, or west. But then just enter fixed mode, tilt this thing down to best line up with that that slope that you want. That was pretty good. So now I have it lined up. I'm in fixed mode. Just turn on the drills and start drilling. Make sure that you've got nothing that's going to catch you going down. Like this whole floor here. So basically it disables these two hover engines, the two big ones, and that gave me that tilt that I was looking for. But if this thing has got a load in it, that tilt's going to work out differently anyway. Let's see how much rock I drilled up. Yeah. So that's about what I drilled in the last video, 6 tons worth of stuff. And the weight gets redistributed. Those container extensions come all the way to the front, but they also go all the way to the back. So I thought I had it pretty even, but it's really just kind of depends on how that thing gets loaded. So I'm not going to worry too much more with trying to get the angle right with hover engines. To get it exactly right with hover engines empty, I'd have had to extend the length of the ship and reposition the hover engines. But then as soon as you have any kind of load in there, it's not going to be perfect anymore anyway. So it turns out you don't really need it. You can just tilt the nose up and down once you're in fixed mode, get the angle you want, and just move forward from there. So there you go. I hope you found this useful, and thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.